Hi, and thank you for being here today. This is Maria Mandarino. I am an acupuncturist, spiritual director, and Enneagram practitioner. I am here today with Julie Jacobs, who is a counselor at Windhorse Counseling. And today we are going to be talking about Enneagram Type 7, the Enthusiast. And we're going to be talking about how Type 7s deal with encounters with narcissists. So before we jump in, I'm going to have Julie introduce herself. So tell us a little about yourself and your practice and why you do what you do.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. My name is Julie Jacobs. I have Windhorse Counseling here in Chandler, Arizona. I meet with people virtually, by phone, by video, in person. Obviously, I prefer in person. I like to feel people's energy.
Yeah.
My practice is called Windhorse because in Eastern traditions, the Windhorse helps carry you until you can carry yourself. And that's what I'm here to do. Help give you the tools and the strength to figure out this thing we call life and be able to be happy and successful, whatever that means to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can be reached by phone, text, email, whatever works.
Mhm.
And of course, my website is Windhorse Counseling.
All right.
Thank
We'll
you.
have all that in the show notes too for people. So, all righty. So before we jump in, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the little alert button so you get notified when we have episodes coming up with new episodes on this or anything else that we're going to be doing, projects and such. Please like the video, comment, and share. All right, all that helps the algorithm and helps us reach more people. So today we are going to talk about Enneagram Type 7. So, all right. So focus of Type 7, pleasure seeking. These are the fun people on the Enneagram. They love fun. Okay. Pleasure seeking and fun. They love excitement. Not only do they love excitement, they usually bring excitement. They love adventure. They're adventurous people and they inspire others to be adventurous as well. They love options and they love keeping their options open. They don't like to be cornered. They don't like to be limited. They don't like to be restricted. They seek to avoid pain because if they're restricted and start to feel pain, their options or they're losing their options, none of that feels comfortable to the 7. So their focus is on avoiding pain so they can seek their options and do the fun things. For the same reasons, they like to focus on the positive. They don't like to talk about things that they would consider to be downers. And they are great at developing interrelationships. They're great at connecting people. They're great networkers. They're the person that you'll talk to and they're like, oh, you're working on that? So I know somebody who could help you. They'll be perfect for you. And they'll just put people together naturally. They're kind of the guidance counselors on the Enneagram. So I'm going to stop the screen share and let's chat about that a little bit in the context of the Type 7 and the narcissist. What do you think, Julie?
This one's super interesting to me because, in a lot of respects, I don't find big glaring ways where a narcissist is going to plug in.
Yeah.
Um, and what likely because these people are about doing with everybody else and not making those deep connections for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does a narcissist have to work with?
Yeah.
So initially, they're not going to be able to plug in real deep. It's going to take a lot
Yeah.
longer.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Um, but there's crazy skilled narcissists out there who can take all kinds of time to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And if
Um,
they don't have access to, let's say, a heart type, and it's just a
right?
7 that's there, they're going to figure out how to merge with that 7 energy. So yeah, it will
Yeah,
take a little longer, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. They're going to have to make it look fun because otherwise 7 won't do it.
This better be fun or I'm not playing.
So what does fun look like to a narcissist?
Uh-huh. Ooh, what an excellent question. I also think that being the head type,
Uh-huh.
that's an advantage,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
a narcissist likely isn't going to have that be a first choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, hmm. Unless that narcissist is also a 7,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe.
So,
I
so
don't know.
I want to hop over to a slide about that. So, these slides are partly from my course that will be coming up, hopefully at the end of this summer. They're a narcissist. The narcissist is a 7. That's one way in,
Yeah.
right?
It seems like a healthy 7 would be hard work for a narcissist.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go over to back to that other slide we had. Yeah. Because the healthy 7's just not going to do it,
Mhm.
right? They're just going to keep going to, you don't feel like fun to me. So if the narcissist isn't coming in with fun, the 7's just going to, hey, this isn't fun. Bye. Because here's the thing. 7's want to do fun so they don't have to stick around for pain. But if you're a 7 and somebody's, targeting you, be aware of that's how they're going to have to do it. So if somebody comes in and they track really fast with fun and you don't really know where they're coming from, 7's like that. So just kind of keep your radar open.
And
And
that's good self-awareness about, am I slipping out of my being in balance?
yeah,
Am I starting to lose the good stuff, and am I leaning more towards those unhealthy
yeah,
traits, right?
yeah, that's actually, I wasn't going to do this, but let's go to the higher side of the 7 imbalance. Positive influence, optimistic. So if somebody's taking you out of this, if that narcissist is taking you out of any of these characteristics, you want to, there's your flashing yellow light. If you're feeling less positive, if your optimism is at stake, you're usually supportive and enthusiastic, you're playful, right? So these are the places to stay. But if you can't, if you're finding that you're losing energy there, it's a warning. Be inventive. Again, we said they make great guidance counselors, travel agents, connectors. They put the opportunities together, the happy, fun opportunities. They raise the energy in the room. No narcissist is going to like that.
No, because that's supposed to be their energy.
Yeah. Type 7 imbalance, popular, fun. Yeah, no narcissist is going to like that either. Skilled networkers, that's not attractive to a narcissist. Excellent at slowing down, feeling and savoring the depth of things. A narcissist could potentially meet you there. That could be dangerous ground, but I think it's with all the other things going on for the 7, for the positive 7, I think they'd be okay. And again, they're head type, so they can kind of think their way through some of this too. And deep committers could be dangerous.
Yes. And I see a spot. I see the place where the narcissist can go.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Where?
They see the potential in others. If
Ooh.
that narcissist exposes their potential, and how much fun would it be to get me to my potential?
Oh shoot. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's
There's the Achilles heel.
yes. And
Yeah.
so the thing to ask yourself, if I'm working harder than that other person is working to bring them to their potential,
Uh-huh.
stop.
Okay.
Right? Because how else are you going to check yourself with that narcissist who's using that as their entrance?
Yeah. So getting a 7 to stop, I always think of 7s as a horse jumping the gate. They just want to go. And stop is huge. Like pause is huge. Stop is like work. But that is um, a great suggestion. Because yeah, once they start tracking with them and that excitement kicks in and the endorphins start kicking in for the 7, stopping becomes harder.
Well, and two, they're deep committers. So once
Yeah.
they're in and
Yeah.
they're optimistic,
Yeah.
they're in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to support, I'm going to be enthusiastic, I'm going to cheerleader, I'm going to be your
Hmm.
cheerleader.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Even though you're not running the race, I'm still
Hmm.
cheering
Yeah.
you on.
Yeah. 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 And depending on where their wing is, if they've got an 8 wing, that's also going to be a large energy, and that can kind of start to spiral. And yeah, that can be played well. Yeah.
Huh.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, how about that? Slap me in the face.
Yeah. All 9 types have it. We're all in it. We're all in it. And on both sides of the fence, whether you're talking about the person being manipulated by the narcissist or the narcissist, I really do think you can have 9 types of either one of those people. So it's just a question of awareness. So for us, as 2 people who work with this stuff, right? You just had like this, wow.
Huh?
Imagine being the 7.
Right.
Right, where you're not even, you're in it, so it's so much harder to see. So yeah, which brings me to the conversation I always like to have in these episodes about knowing when we need help, support, guidance, direction, somebody in our camp, because this can be hard, soul-sucking stuff when you're in it.
Yes, it can.
So go to it, my friend, because you are you are the person that can speak to that as a counselor.
Well, it just really resonated today when we're talking about being in balance, right? And when people are in balance and you notice that you're losing your, for the 7, you're losing your playfulness. For one of the other types, like for a 1, when you're losing your being ability to be responsible and persistent, when you feel like you're losing your energy to be who you are,
Mm,
who you know yourself to be, maybe it's time to check in, right?
mm,
And look at relationships. And I think it's hard when you're in it
mm,
to go, this isn't working for me.
mm,
So focusing on accumulating information, right? Have I changed? Am I suffering more health stuff? Am I as happy as I was? Am I doing the things I love to do? If there's lots of changes,
mm.
maybe I check in and talk to somebody about what I'm noticing, how I'm feeling,
Yeah,
and go from there.
yeah.
Obviously, whenever a situation is feels dangerous or threatening,
Mm,
please seek
yeah,
help.
for sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see that in a 7, but it certainly could get there.
Hmm.
I don't think
Hmm.
it starts off like that though. It has
Right.
that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Um, but if you feel unsafe, if someone's telling you, "Are you sure that person's a good match? Are you sure you want to be in a relationship with that person?"
Mm,
Go talk to somebody else about that,
yeah.
because our friends and family and our tribe, they look out for us and they want to encourage and support us,
Right.
but they're not always the best
Right.
people to
Hmm.
ask for in-depth sort
Right.
of analysis and help about that.
Right. Yeah. I wonder, because the other thing that we both, I'm sure, see narcissists doing is they try to take people away from the people
Yes.
in their lives. So if we're looking at a 7, and again, that's a good thing to look at for all the 9 types, but 7s are people or people persons, right? Um, so if you've got somebody in your life who's trying to disenfranchise you from those people, I mean, I would think it'd be tougher to do that to a 7, but could definitely be an objective. It would be something a narcissist wouldn't appreciate in the 7.
100%. Yes. And they would slowly try and, strong word, but isolate you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not out talking to other people, no one's going to tell you what a jerk I'm being to you.
Hmm.
You're
Yeah.
not going to hear that.
Right.
And so for that 7 to notice, is my circle shrinking?
Yeah.
Right? Am I
Yeah.
spending time with fewer and fewer people?
Yeah.
That's a whoop.
What do you think about the narcissist bringing the biggest fun to accomplish that? So sevens like to have fun people around them, but I'm going to bring you way more fun than they're not fun. Could you see that playing out? Because I could.
I could totally see it playing out. It would be interesting to see the longevity of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I
Yeah.
think probably most narcissists don't have a playful energy.
Right. They can't sustain it.
They can present that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is really reminding me of someone I know. So,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and too, right? Anybody who presents one way and is not that way shortly after or can't
Mm-hmm.
sustain those kinds of
Red
things,
flag.
that's a red flag for us, whether they're a
Yeah.
narcissist or
Right.
not,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who presents one thing and then you find out, well, you're not really that. Or
Mm.
someone who likes to exaggerate and has
Yeah.
lots of stories, and then you find out some of that isn't true.
Yeah.
What's that about, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
we all embellish things when we are first meeting people. We want to
Mm-hmm.
make a good first impression. We take time with the way that we look and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. And as
Yeah.
time goes on, you're more you,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't change your whole personality
Right.
type, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody is bringing you a fiasco, um, yeah, step back and and look at what that
yeah.
fiasco is all about.
Yes.
Yep.
Or someone who, like, I can see where a seven, when they're in balance, right? They're popular, they're fun, they raise the energy in the room. There's someone who's going to be seen,
Yeah.
right? So if you're someone who dresses in bright colors, you're someone who
Mm.
wants to be seen where you go, and all of a sudden you notice your appearance is
Yeah.
becoming more subdued.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Why are
Yeah.
you doing that?
Where
And
did your sevenness go?
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your narcissist way of dimming your light so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you're not shining so brightly.
Yeah. And that's absolutely so the Enneagram types are said to be the 9 faces of God, right? All of them equally as beautiful and brilliant and pieces, 9 pieces of the whole of divinity, right? Your 7 is that face of God. And who is that narcissist to dim that light, that face of God that you are here on this earth to portray in your highest expression? Ideally, this is what we're all supposed to be going toward, is our highest expression. So that is, I think, really important to acknowledge, and to acknowledge it in that context as well, because if they're dimming your light, they are separating you from your divinity.
I love that.
That's why I do this work. That right there is the 9 faces of God right there.
That's beautiful.
Yep. Yep. And our job is to work toward the higher expression and away from the shadow, which is the human experience, because we get bogged down in the human stuff, which is our separation from divinity, right? So our job is to come up to the higher expression of that face of God. And we all don't get it right all the time, but awareness is where we keep trying, like Sisyphus pushing that rock back up the hill. So yeah, so if somebody's taking that away from you, you need to slow down, stop, get help, and realize nobody can take that away from you. Yeah.
No matter which type you are.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you are staying in balance and you're at your highest self, you're not going to be a victim of a narcissist.
That's it. That's it. They can only
Right.
get you in shadow.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So staying in balance, staying in your highest self, staying with your connection to the divine
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
keeps you safe from the narcissist.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is hard
Self-care.
work.
Self-care keeps you safe from the narcissist.
Yeah.
That's the
Self-care,
armor that
support.
protects you.
Yep. Community, people who love you, all those things. And all those things that the narcissist wants to take you away from. Because the
Yeah.
narcissist wants you in shadow. Because they probably want to be God, right? I mean, yeah.
Well, because God put them here to do his work on
Yeah.
or her work
Yeah.
on
To
the
challenge.
planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Challenge us. Yeah. They do. That is one way to look at it. They have a role to bring us to our higher expression. But without awareness, it's like without the tools of awareness, without the support, how do you get there? So it's as my Qigong teacher used to say, constant correction. For as long as we live and breathe, if we don't understand that it's constant correction, we're going to struggle.
Yep.
Yeah. So so I want to look at type 7 in stress. And they will go to 1 in stress. And as I've mentioned before, we're not sheep. So even though it's our stress point, there are things we could maybe, attain, or not, I shouldn't say attain, but things we can utilize. So here's the danger point. This is the stress presentation of type 1. Self-loathing, inner critic, obsessive, anxious, moral superiority, ungrounded kind of feeling, having unreasonable standards, low self-esteem, transferring your inner critic to others, being critical of others, aggression, which is how suppressed anger is applied for a low 1. They lose themselves in details and create nothing. They nitpick, and there's quest for perfection in loved ones that make the loved one feel unloved and hurt, right? So these are not good places to go, and this is where a 7 can be triggered by a narcissist. So here are your danger points. If you find yourself going to any of these, realize this is your journey of awareness as a 7. Realize you're falling out of balance, and the narcissist is winning your energy, essentially. So I want to hop over to the 5, because this is the easier place to go. Excuse me. So type 5 in balance is going to bring some of these characteristics. They're scholarly. They have a good sense of knowing. They are thoughtful, respectful. They're calm in a crisis. That one is going to serve you really well. They are reliable. They have simple needs. They're excellent listeners. They're self-sufficient, prepared with information and facts. So here's where, so 5s are kind of internally, they're kind of internal processors. They're the thinkers. In their highest expression, their highest expression is omniscience. They kind of can just hold, observe, and watch everything. And they're like the ultimate Libras. They're just balanced with it. They can just hold it all and not tip any direction with it. So if you're going to be scholarly and get information, it's going to be for yourself in the situation. The good sense of knowing is about you and what's going on with your 7 nature, right? It's that self-awareness, that self-knowing. Where are you losing your 7-ness? The thoughtfulness is not about the narcissist. In this case, it's going to be about you, being thoughtful about your needs, being respectful to your needs. Being calm in a crisis is probably the most important thing you can extract from your 5 energy. And I would say being reliable within your own needs. Keeping your needs simple is smart. Simple and easily defined for yourself. Listening to that little voice. Don't worry about listening to the narcissist. They got plenty of people listening to them.
They'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen to yourself, because they ain't going to listen to you.
No.
All right. So listen to that voice. Keep yourself self-sufficient. gain strength from that. And being prepared with information and facts which you are not going to share with that narcissist. Those information and facts that you gather are for you, to keep your energy, to make your decisions, to figure out how to get help. That's your superpower. Information gathering information is the 5 superpowers. So that is your superpower to get out of a difficult situation as a 7.
Yes, I need to share something with you here.
Yeah.
So that prepared with information and facts,
Mhm.
and that's for you. It
Mhm.
is only for you. Do not give that information to the narcissist. And
Yeah.
so many want to. And I
Mhm.
have lots of clients who will say, so I'll tell them X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and do not.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, you are giving them
More power.
exponentially more power, because you're giving them lots of different ways to plug in. They're
Mhm.
going to tell you whoever told you that is wrong.
Yeah.
They're going to spend a
Get
lot of
away from them.
they're going to spend a lot of time trying to attack them. I
Yep.
can tell you that I have had clients go out and tell their narcissist about how they figured out in therapy the other person is a narcissist.
Mhm.
And that narcissist now says, well, clearly your therapist is an idiot.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
the only thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Or, right, and it's about now you've given them all kinds of other
All your
things to
power.
plug into, all kinds of other things to destroy,
Yeah.
and for you to start questioning and questioning and questioning.
Yeah.
When you have that information and all those facts, that is for you
You only.
only, and it's to give you the strength to remove yourself. It's for
Yeah.
you to remind yourself
Mhm.
about how dangerous this
Yeah.
relationship is.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, anytime you give a narcissist a clue that you are going to leave them, or
Mm.
you are not going to allow them to manipulate you,
Yeah.
that's when the narcissist behavior ramps up in who knows which direction, depending on
Yeah.
what they choose at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what I didn't do today, and I should, is show the Enneagram map of where those energetic lines are. And I apologize that I didn't do that first. Okay. So here we have our 7, right? The 1 is where they're going to go when they're stressed. It's the stress line. It's also called the avoidance line. All right. 5 is where the 7 can go to get grounded, get that information, get that self-awareness, listen to the voice. It's more of a meditative centering energy, which is where, again, that 7 wants to run and do the things, right? So the 5 is going to bring that 7 into stillness, which is much more preferable when you're dealing with an energy like the narcissist. So that's this is where you're working. So if you're going to use any of the high points in 1, this is going to be a more difficult. You're almost like going against the direction of traffic. It's not that you can't get there. Again, we're not sheep. We can make choices, but this is going to be an easier route. And I would say offers much more to the 7 in this circumstance. So I just wanted to point that out. I feel like I left out a slide. Yeah, so I had hopped over there when we were talking about the narcissist. What if they were both narcissists? So I just want to, like, we kind of kicked this around a little bit at the beginning, but so when that 7 is losing energy to the narcissist, your fear, your natural fear, 7s have this, the fear of deprivation, right? Being limited, somebody giving you boundaries, anything, fears, 7s live in fear of that experience. If that's getting bigger, your fear of deprivation. If you're sure that being trapped is the equivalent of dying, or, it's a loose metaphor. if you're struggling to commit to things and others, you feel a little, destabilized that way. The narcissist can be taking you further out of balance. If you find yourself falling into some kind of narcissistic behaviors, if you're appearing to not care about others, if you're so hyper focused on doing the things and having the experiences and looking for the opportunities, and other people who you care about and who care and care about and love you are saying, geez, it seems like you're not even in the room anymore, even when you are. That can be a little bit of an indicator. Loved ones feeling unseen. This is one we didn't talk about. So 7s, because they're head types, they're intrigued by information. Information provides them with opportunities, learning opportunities, information. We can do more things when we know more things, right? So if you're collecting a lot of books, if you're upping your Amazon order, and the end table has, more books than you can see over, and you're not reading them, okay, that can be an expression of you're looking forward to the possibility of reading them one day, but you're too stressed out to read them. So that can be, sometimes those physical reminders around us can point to stresses that we might be missing in our, cues from our body, say. Just watch our behaviors. And if you're turning into a no-show person, yeah, I'll be at the party at 7 o'clock, and then you never went. So those kind of behaviors can be indicators that you're A, out of balance, but B, the narcissist is driving the bus. So you're nodding your head, Julie. Tell me.
Yeah. That watching the behaviors, checking in with your body, the no-show people.
Yeah.
Narcissists are great at turning people into no-show people.
Yeah.
Right. But because you're showing up for them so much, you can't show up anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's a great check-in for any of the types, right?
Right.
Step back and go,
Right.
where am I spending my time? If I'm going to make a little diagram and I have a full circle, is 3/4 of this being consumed by this one relationship? That's not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to collect some information about what's going on for you. Where are you given that energy?
Yeah.
Right. And if that energy is going to that narcissist who's going to meet you in your shadow, that's going to be icky.
Yeah.
And heavy, and it's not going to be fun. 7s. Don't go there.
Yeah. All of a sudden you've been having fun and you're not having fun. That's a red flag right there, because it's really hard for 7s to not have fun. Higher low.
One of the first things they pay attention to, huh?
Yeah.
I just noticed I'm not having fun anymore.
Okay. And the thing is, they have abundant energy, and they're fast-paced people. So once the tracking starts, I think it can be easy to lose sight of what direction you're tracking in. But it doesn't quite feel like fun anymore. But it's fast, it's high energy. So that's familiar to the 7. But 7s don't like pain. And all of a sudden it's not fun. So it's almost feeling like, it's uncomfortable. It could be pain. Don't like it. Now I'm in it. What do I do? Get help. Stop, pause, stop, reflect, be self-aware, get help. Because at the end of the day, the narcissist just wants that energy.
Yep.
So,
yeah, there's the being out of balance as a 7 has some really good red flags.
Yeah, they're apparent. They're not.
Being trapped is being equal to death.
Well,
hello.
Yeah. Can't breathe. Oh my God. I can't do this. I'm in a corner. Either 7s don't do corners. So yeah. And your body will give you those signals.
Yeah. Just gotta take time and listen, right?
Yeah. Slow it down. 7s need to slow down the pace. There are fast movers, so slow it down. And as so the narcissist has tracked to your fast pace, right? So you got 2 people going at fast speeds, And if that 7 slows it down a little bit, it'd be interesting to see what the resistance might look like in the narcissist too. And again, depending on what their type structure is, because that can look different, but it's going to destabilize no matter what, right?
Right.
So,
For sure.
so yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you change the way you engage,
Mm-hmm.
you respond, you react to a narcissist,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're paying attention
Yep.
and they're going to change.
Yeah. They'll have an expression.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, out of the types that we've looked at, 7's the one you tend to think, one of the ones you tend to think, oh, they'll have the least trouble, but we can all be fooled. So we all have shadows. So
Yeah. And knowing your type, your strengths, your weaknesses, what are the things that you feel when you're out of balance?
Mhm.
That's awesome because that's your check-in point. Am I starting to feel like I'm being trapped? Uh-oh,
Mhm.
I'm falling out of balance.
And
If you're a 1, oh no, am I isolating?
yeah.
Whoa, there's a
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And you can pretty much bet the narcissist doesn't know their type, and if they do, they're not working it. So
why would they work it?
yeah, right.
They're so perfect the way they are.
Yeah, if you ask them what's your Enneagram type and they say 10, it could be a red
I'm
flag.
an 11.
Um, so so yeah. Yeah, the type that I think we both probably thought would be the one we'd have the least to talk about. There's definitely things that
Right?
that are there to be aware of, and places to do your work, and know that the person that you're struggling with is probably clueless about what any of that work would look like. So you've got 9 personalities out there, and technically 27 when you add the subtypes to them, but that's a whole other rabbit hole. But there's 9 faces of this. There's 9 expressions of how to interact with a narcissist, and that narcissist most likely is clueless about any of them. So so use your superpowers. If you don't know what they are, learn them. And if you have any questions, reach out to either of us. Our contact information will be in the show notes. Again, remember to subscribe, hit the alert button, like the video, share it, comment, all the things. Okay. And thank you for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.